Hey, this is Denials. I'm about to go get some stuff to make tomato sauce. I need onions, I need tomatoes, I need garlic, and I need basil. Let's see if they have it all. Here we go. I hope you guys enjoy. As soon as we got into the farmer's market, we were immediately distracted by all the Dragon Ball Z figurines and all the other merchandise. But we finally made it to the produce section. Here we go, it's time to get all the ingredients.
These mushrooms right here, dude, you're gonna get high in potassium right here. You definitely wanna take these in. So the more organic it is for you, the more nutrients you'll get from it. The ones at Walmart that you get, they actually have pesticides on it. And pesticide means that, side means to kill. These are organic, so you're not gonna get that. Don't get them from the store. That way you don't get the pesticides in there. You don't have to actually take those free radicals that you're taking in from eating the mushrooms inside the store. So let's go, baby. Bam!
Wow, that was some good facts. That was some good facts. I'm gonna have to get some of those just to have. I'm gonna get a pound of tomatoes. The reason I'm using these tomatoes, these are ROMA tomatoes. The reason I'm using them, they're the best tomatoes to use to make tomato sauce. I'm making tomato sauce from scratch. But the reason I use these tomatoes, and a lot of people use these tomatoes, is there's not a lot of water. And when you use these tomatoes, they make more of a thicker sauce, like you make pizza. If you use a different tomato, then you can make more of a soup base. Like the more fatter tomatoes, they're more made to make a soup, but we're making tomato sauce. So I'm gonna get a pound of these. These look like really good tomatoes. As you can see, they're more of a solid tomato.
How can you tell like if it's a good tomato or a bad tomato?
Okay, so a bad tomato, like this one's kind of going a little bad. It's kind of punctured. You can kind of see it's kind of going bad a little bit. This one's smooth. There's a little bit of it pivots, but it's a smoother tomato. This tomato's been out here longer, an extra day. It was picked older. See how it's been sitting longer? So this is more of a healthy tomato. I'm gonna get about a pound of these. If you wanna help me pick them out, Mo. Let's do 6 of them. Picking out tomatoes is a very important part of making tomato sauce. Because if you got old beat up tomatoes and you got old beat up tomatoes and like nice smooth tomatoes, your texture won't be perfect. I got the tomatoes. I'm still with my boy. He knows a little more about tomatoes now. I'm gonna put them in the bag. And I just asked her if she had basil, but she has parsley. So now we gotta find basil and onions. We're on a little challenge here. We're trying to get basil at this little supermarket in Denials in Roseville. I'm gonna ask this lady if there's basil in this area. If not, we might just have to get it at our local grocery store. Do you know who has basil in this aisle? Basil? It's down that way?
Yeah. That way?
Down that way, okay.
But real quick, on these walnuts. So what these do for you, they're such a good fatty acid that are high in omega-3s. So not only are they gonna help you with blood flow, they help prevent cancer. And not only do they help prevent cancer, what I really love about it too, is that these are high in magnesium. So when you eat these kind of foods right here, you activate an energy source called the mitochondria. Mitochondria is an energy source that is used to actually release fat. So when you eat these, just know that you're actually using mitochondria, which is allowing you to use that stored energy of fat instead of using your muscle as energy. So eat walnuts.
I was gonna get some onions here, but these onions are gonna go bad. I could use them today, but I want a more fresher onion. These onions are kind of squishy. I want more of a solid onion, kind of like these ones. But I'm not using red onions. I'm gonna be using white onions to make tomato sauce. Like this onion's no good. You can see here, this is a bad onion. Don't wanna use an onion like that. So we're gonna go to a different spot. So the cool thing is we just found tomatoes next to onions, and these look a lot better than the other onions. I'm gonna get 2 of them, just one for later, so I can make tomato sauce later and tomato sauce now. So yeah, I'm getting these 2 right here. These look good, nice and solid, great onions. I'm gonna get 2 of them. Okay, so I found some garlic. I'm gonna get some garlic, onions, and we should be set. They don't look like they got basil here, so I'm gonna have to hit my local grocery store and buy some basil. Once we purchased all the ingredients, it was time to enjoy the rest of the market. and feed my Dragon Ball Z addiction. It was lit, straight up.
I got this one. I wish this could happen, but this is unrealistically.
No, hey, you never know. Okay, what else you got?
I got the same one as him. We got matching sets.
Okay, cool. Baby, I'm doing baby splits. Goku, this one.
Did you get the stand too?
Yeah, get the stand. Oh.
Bro, look at these ones.
Okay, let's check our ingredients. We got tomatoes, onions, garlic, and I gotta get the basil at my local grocery store. And I already have the salt and olive oil already in my kitchen. Hey, now since we're back from the market, we're in the kitchen now. Let's get cooking. This recipe calls for 16 tomatoes, 1 onion, 1 garlic clove, 3/4 of an ounce of basil, and for the salt, we're gonna eyeball it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice the other side of this tomato, not the stem side, this side. I'm gonna slice a slice in it. The reason why is I'm gonna poach these tomatoes so they're easy to peel. I have to peel the skin off the tomatoes so they're easier to cook and there's no skin in your tomato sauce. So as you can see, doesn't matter how far you go deep because you're gonna cut these up. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this on high heat and get this to a boil. So we're gonna grab these 2 tomatoes, we're gonna drop them in, and we're gonna leave them in for about 30 seconds to a minute. The reason why is we're trying to watch and wait for the skin to separate from the tomato. So while these are sitting here, I'm gonna drop 2 more. Now remember, the water's hot, so be very careful. Now since we waited, it's been about a minute, I'm gonna slowly take these out. I'm gonna strain them. I'm gonna bring them over here. You can see how they peel right off. If you have the water hot, the skin is just peeling off. You want to remove the skin so you can make perfect tomato sauce. If you're having this issue right here, you're gonna take a little paring knife and you're just gonna peel off whenever it's catching. I'm only peeling 6 tomatoes. Make sure you follow the recipe. You need to peel 16 tomatoes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them, I'm gonna cut them in half, I'm gonna lay them down, and I'm gonna take out this stem. In order to take out this stem, I have to cut a little triangle out of the bottom of them. So I'm gonna do that to all of them. You're just cutting a little triangle out of the bottoms of them. So now since we have these peeled and we have the core taken out, we're gonna line one up and we're gonna cut it into little chunks. So you have to be very careful with tomatoes when you're cutting these. They're very juicy and they're slippery, so you don't want to cut yourself. So you have to hold your fingers like this and you have to take your time. You can't be fast when you cut tomatoes. So your tomatoes should now look like this. I'm gonna get these set to the side and I now have to cut the onion and the garlic and the basil to prepare to make tomato sauce. Remember, it's good practice to keep your area clean and organized while preparing your food. So now we're gonna cut the onion. I'm gonna cut off the end, the other end. I'm gonna cut it right here, just put a slice in it. I'm gonna peel it back. Set this aside, set this to the side. I'm gonna cut this in half. And I'm only gonna do one side and you're gonna repeat the process on the other one. You're gonna cut. And then you're gonna cut again. Little tiny sections, little dices. And you're gonna end up with a little consistency like this. So we're done cutting the onions. I'm gonna put them in a bowl. And we're gonna move on to the garlic. Now we have the garlic to do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bust it up, get a little strength. As you can see, we're just taking off and getting all the garlic out. You kind of got to use a little strength here. And you're gonna put all your garlic, clovers, in a pile and all the leaves to the side. So the next step is we're gonna crush these garlic. We're gonna take one, smash it. We're gonna take off all the outer edge of the shell still. That's crushed off of it. We're gonna line it up, make sure it's nice and clean. And you gotta be careful. You're just gonna cut it real small. So now we're gonna cut up our basil. So we're gonna line it all up. The first thing you do though, before you line it all up, is you have to rinse off your basil. So you're gonna line it all up, all the leaves, all the stems this way. And you're gonna hold it nice and tight. And you're gonna slice it. You're gonna toss the stems, you don't need the stems. Then you're gonna turn and you're gonna cut the other way with the basil. Almost into a dice form, just like the onions, the tomatoes, the garlic. All this is going to be diced to make tomato sauce. We're going to transfer also the basil to a container too. First, turn your stovetop on high heat. Make sure to properly clean out your saucepan. Then evenly apply olive oil to your pan. Now we're going to get cooking. Add your onions and garlic. Then we're going to saute our garlic and onion. You'll know they're finished when the bottom of the pan is completely brown. Now it's time to add your fresh picked tomatoes. Once the tomatoes are added, turn your stovetop down to medium heat. Slow cook your tomatoes for 20 to 30 minutes. For this next part, I'm going to use my KitchenAid hand blender to get the desired texture for the tomato sauce. Keep in mind there is no right or wrong texture when making tomato sauce. It's your preference. Now since the tomato sauce is finished, like, comment, and share, and I'm gonna enjoy.
Cool.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I think this is the end of the video.
Yeah, perfect. That's some good sauce. Was it?
That's it.
Cool.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon.